What's up, Porch Nation? Welcome back to Porch Nation headquarters here in Worcester, Massachusetts for the second time this week. It was week 11 here in the Greatest League, and it was our final out-of-division game for the 2024 regular season. Compared to week 10, week 11 was like a career average batter suddenly hitting 40-plus home runs per season once they start juicing. North versus West and South versus East Part 4 offers some of our oldest rivalries and some great playoff previews. Gotta write another one of these tomorrow, so let's hurry this up. Week 11, 8 games, let's get into it. Okay, week 11 was here, and we saw another week of disparity, but much higher overall scores. Our final edition of North vs. West and South vs. East also offered a playoff preview as our South and East division leaders squared off. Might as well start there then, and check in on Dylan versus Josh Steinberg. Both of these teams came into this one at 8-2 and leading their divisions. The difference is Josh's lead is nearly untouchable, and Dylan holds just a one-game lead over Josh Marshall. Dylan came into this one on a tough projection, but was able to well exceed it. Unfortunately for him, Josh steined him good, copyright pending, and smashed his already impressive projection, falling just 4 points shy of his personal best record. On to the absolute longest running rivalry, not just in this league, but in life. Starting nearly 42 years ago, or 9 months before I was born, this rivalry has stood the test of time. It's no secret D has had a rough season. Well, this one offered no surprise, and I was just glad to rebound from last week's nail-biter. D makes this one 11 in a row. Division-leading Joe came into this one with just a one-win lead in the North. Ethan came into this one tied for not Alex in the West. Unfortunately, Ethan's roster betrayed him, and Joe's beat theirs by 21 points. Onward then to Andy and Pete. Pete is coming off back-to-back Game of the Weeks, and Andy has been on the wrong end of a different streak. Well, me oh my, what a score from Jared Goff. It almost seems that the rest of Andy's roster took a knee out of spite. Pete will forego what would have been an unprecedented Game of the Week three-peat for smashing his projection, getting a third win in a row. Speaking of unprecedented, Berg's struggle bus rolled up to Alex's door this week, and these two made it a fireworks show. This has to be in the running for one of our highest combined scores, though I didn't actually commit the time to research that. In our 16-season history, we've only seen 2 scorers break 200 points ever, so Alex came just 0.17 points away from joining that elite club, with Joe at 205.4 week 3 of 2019, and Josh Marshall an astonishing 213.05 week 7 of 2018. This is still the third highest score of all time. Kudos, sir. Moving then to Jeff and Adam. Both of these teams came in at 500 and jockeying for position in the wildcard race. Jeff had the strongest start this season, but faltered for a bit. Finally, he snapped that losing streak last week. Addy has been basically playing consistent 500 ball. Well, this one makes it 2 in a row now for Jeff, who sees himself currently occupying the 6th seed. Adam now loses this potential head-to-head tiebreaker with Jeff and sits 1 game back in the wild card race. Pete and Jeff share the same record, but Jeff won their early season head-to-head, so their Week 14 head-to-head could possibly decide consolation versus championship brackets for them. And now, our game of the week. In a week of blowouts, one game dared to be competitive. Ross came into this one at 4-6 in a 3-way tie in the West, and Steve came into this 1 game out of first in the North at 5-5. Well, Ross was projected to take this one by a big margin, but by the end of Sunday, he only led by 8.5 points, and Steve had Dallas kicker Brandon Aubrey left to go with an 8.2 point projection. Unfortunately for Steve, Aubrey only got 6 points on a 50-plus kick and a point after, as Houston showed Dallas who the dominant Texas team is right now, and Ross evens their records at 5-6 each. Now for a look at where the playoff race stands at the end of Week 11. Playoffs?
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
Alright, that was Week 11, folks. Kudos to the Joshes on their matching 4-game win streaks. So fresh. All that remains now is the 3-game stretch of in-division games before we hit those playoffs. The North and East have tight divisional races that could be drastically changed from now until the end of the season, and the wildcard race is still in play in all 4 divisions. It's hammer down time. Let's see some spoilers here in the next few weeks. And until later this week, keep thriving, Porch Nation!
Bloop.